And Argentina, the 1978 World Cup winners with the great Diego Maradona, against a very, very fast-moving South Korean team who will have to rely upon their speed and very, very fast counter-attacking breakaways to surprise this Argentinian side, one of the favorites for this competition, and number 10, the great Diego Armando Maradona, who is the Argentinian captain. We expect great things from Maradona. These conditions in Mexico City, this beautifully prepared pitch should suit him, but the South Koreans certainly will be no pushover. They are well prepared, very fast indeed, undoubtedly underdogs against a side like Argentina. In the first week we were here, and it is very hard work to run. When you have to move and tackle and sprint and recover and control the ball as Diego Maradona is doing now, it is very difficult indeed. But there we see the sort of experiences Maradona had in Spain in 1982, which eventually led to his frustration and his sending off in that World Cup. Long throw well into the penalty area. Argentina going in, but the Korean defense well up to it. Number 14, Ricardo. But a breakaway now by these very, very fleet-footed Koreans. This is their threat. Chipping it into the center. Oh, and pulled down. Surely there. A kick. Yes, without question. Almost like rugby football as he was going through. Very, very well tackled. If it had been the 15-a-side game.
Very fast break and a good through ball.
Seems to be some uncertainty in the Korean organization for this set play. And they try to bend the ball around the wall and they don't succeed, but they still have possession. Number 2, Park, trying to make progress down the wing. And the physical superiority of the Argentinian defender there, pushing the ball out.
As in yesterday's game with Canada and France, I think that Argentina has to be very careful they don't take the Koreans too lightly. As we've seen already with the one quick break they've had, they're a very well-prepared team.
Oscar moving it up to Sergio. Argentina, long ball. Maradona in possession again, showing his tremendous skill, and once again hacked down. The Argentinians appealing that this should be a yellow card. The referee telling the Korean defenders that they have to tackle fairly and go for the ball and not the man. And Argentina, of course, concerned about Maradona's knee. There are many who feel that he should have had an operation on this knee, which is somewhat suspect. He has decided, wisely or not, we shall see perhaps in a moment, to delay the operation because of his desire to play in this World Cup competition, and therefore the defenders certainly going in hard because they realize the great threat that Maradona poses. Here we see him coming through, and no attempt whatsoever to play that ball. That deserved a yellow card without question. We remind you that we are bringing you this game from the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City. Argentina versus South Korea are playing Hungary. So we will do our best to bring you this backup game as we see the ministering to Maradona and we see the reason for him having to have that treatment. No attempt whatsoever by the Korean defender to play that ball. The referee being very lenient at this point. This cannot surely go on if these superstars are to remain healthy throughout these competitions. They're so important to their teams, but of course they are marked men by the defenders. And the South Koreans not noted for their viciousness and their professional fouling, certainly, and one cannot condone this sort of behavior. Trying to bend it round the wall, not succeeding, but Argentina in possession. A big chance now for a shot, and it's there. Certainly capitalizing. Number 11 for Argentina, Jorge, Alberto Valdano Jorge, puts Argentina ahead as a result of play which followed the set play following Maradona's foul. Here we see it again.
The Koreans had all overplayed the free kick by Maradona and were caught when he headed the ball back in. It was a tremendous shot through a lot of traffic, no chance for the goalie. But this is something that Korea did not want to happen so early in the game, not with the skillful Argentinians now being able to stroke the ball about with the pressure being off after scoring the first goal.
So Jorge Valdano puts them ahead, and now with this early goal, we are likely to see Argentinian confidence burgeoning. 2 Koreans there to 1 Argentinian, and heading it away safely, Kim of Korea.
I think we're seeing a different Diego Maradona than we saw in Spain in '82. He's matured a lot more, he's more of a leader, and he's able to handle that hard tackling a lot better.
There's Yu of Korea moving it up. Choi, with Argentina now in possession. Batista. Argentina very, very slow, leisurely build-up in midfield. Garre moving it across there. Argentina, a give and go, and he gets a chance for another shot, but that will come off a Korean defender for a corner. Out chance for Korea. Spraying it out to the right side to spread this Argentinian defense. Oh, and a beautiful shot from outside the area, and that was not too far wide. Aldano, following a set play which resulted from a vicious foul on Maradona, and here again, the target of the enthusiastic and not always concentrated South Korean defense, concentrated in the sense that instead of going for the ball, they occasionally go for the legs. Loads of time to put this cross in. Argentinians in the area, but straight at the goalkeeper. This may be a very difficult and long day for the Korean goalkeeper Cho. Into the Korean defender, sorry. The Korea start their build-up. Only 2 players forward at the moment for South Korea, with 3 Argentinian defenders marking them. So the odds are not in favor. Oh, and again, another, surely a yellow card this time, a clear-cut rugby tackle. That's the second occasion. The referee seems to be very content to pass this by with no more than a cautionary word. It cannot surely continue. This seems to me not to be the way to...
Por parte de Gurruchaga, ahí va también Maradona, Maradona es el que le pegaría el centro, me gusta para Ruggeri, cabeció,
Oh, now the miracles of modern technology take us once again from Irapuato briefly to the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City. That was a master control punching up onto the CBC video, so we are back in Olympic Stadium and we see the third foul on Diego Maradona. Surely the referee cannot continue to tolerate this, and the Argentinians are trying to describe and discuss this with him.
Maradona again taking this all very, very well. He has matured a lot since 4 years in Spain, but the referee will have to start doing something about this. He must give out a yellow card. They can't just keep chopping Maradona down.
Kim of South Korea, 6'4". There he is. He gets up to that ball. It's unusual. Perhaps we don't anticipate Koreans to be tall people, but 6'4" is useful for a high ball in the area. Didn't work that time. Maradona trapping it on his chest and breaking away. Avoiding the tackles this time. But again, South Korea tackling well and getting the ball that time. Bok Tang-sung moving it out. Going to be a shot, and it's a good shot, but from long range. And the Argentinian goalkeeper Almiron, well, Kwang Rae coming on as substitute now for South Korea, and 12 coming off Pyung Suk Kim, who was intended to mark Maradona, and obviously this has failed. Korea there almost with a chance, but muffing it, and it going safely wide.
Argentina is very comfortable in this game, and they're just strolling. I think their biggest fear they got to be careful of is not to become too complacent and allow the Koreans back in the game, because right now it's definitely a one-sided game.
Giusti, Maradona out on the right, and there he is to receive that ball. Beats his man very, very easily. And another, but a little bit of acting there, I think, on that one. While undoubtedly he was fouled, it was not as vicious as the earlier tackling. Shakes his head in disbelief, wonders what he has to do to be allowed to play this game.
Well, Jeff, I still think he's getting more room in this game than he'll get in most of his other qualifying games, and so far the Koreans have paid very dearly for the free kicks.
And while occasionally individual efforts are absolutely critical and can mean the difference between winning and losing a game and breaking a game open, certainly against a side like this, and with the whole of the second half still to go, these individual efforts are unlikely to yield results. But from this kick, they may have a chance. Over the head of both defenders and attackers, and runs rather lamely into touch, and the Argentinians in absolutely no hurry at all to take this throw. The crowd getting a little restive about this.
As we have the wave starting in the stadium.
Crowd perhaps hoping that they can inspire a little more action into this game. More writhing and acting from Diego Maradona.
I think there may be a little bit of acting in that one. I think the tackle was a harsh one, but I don't think it was that harsh. One of the, I guess, problems of being a big superstar as Maradona is that he's going to get some very special attention, and a lot of it sometimes can be very harsh.
This is where the referees have a very, very important responsibility to protect all players. Valdano and Chusti, but badly played ball, giving the Koreans chance for a long ball. To no avail. Argentina now in possession. Maradona this time struck in the face, and I think at last we're going to see a yellow card. Yes, indeed. That's about the 6th foul on Maradona this half. And Youngmoo Fu gets the yellow card.
Maradona beat him well, nutmegged him, and then he just reached his arm out and just gave him a little tap in the face, I think. Maradona is the type of player I don't think you want to rush in on too fast. The man has so much talent that, you know, he can make you look a little foolish, and I think the Korean, just with frustration, reached out to have a smack at him there.
The first 45 minutes. Long, somewhat tentative ball, which Clausen tries to let it run. It won't, so he crosses it and very luckily gets a goal kick from it. We're almost a minute over the 45 minutes which has been allowed, but there's the whistle. The end of half-time with the score Argentina 2, South Korea 0. A rather unenterprising first half. Argentina clearly on top and released their fast-moving strikers. But it's happened very rarely, and the Argentinian defense in particular have had a very easy time of it. So now they must unite as a team and take some chances, because with a 2-goal lead, Argentina are certainly not going to press. It's very hot in this stadium today, very hot indeed, and therefore Argentina will be very content to play this game as slowly as they possibly can. Unfortunately, Korea will have to try to press forward if they are to make any inroads into this Argentinian lead, and in these very high temperatures, around 30 degrees. And there we are, that is 3-0. This could become a rout. This could become a rout. All too easy, very gentle build-up, and tapping the ball in nonchalantly.
Again, Maradona beats 2 players, crosses the ball, and there's Valdano to score his 3rd goal.
So there's the hat-trick, the first hat-trick of the 86 World Cup. The ball coming off a Korean defender, tipped by the goalkeeper, touched by a defender, but easy taking for Valdano, who undoubtedly is enjoying his first game of the 1986 World Cup, and now there's absolutely no reason for Argentina to do other than take this game very, very easily and use it as a training session, and every reason indeed for South Korea to take some chances and press forward. But they seem to be somewhat overwhelmed by this Argentinian side and haven't settled down into the fast-striking, counter-attacking team that we have been led to believe that they are. Argentina prepared to put that ball out and continue to frustrate these Koreans. Pompidou, the goalkeeper, may as well take his time and play this ball out to the edge of the area, because he's not going to get too many touches on this ball during this game, certainly the way it's been running so far. Very long ball, almost into the penalty area, and Argentina on the attack again. Here comes the cross, but this time well over the goal line. But Maradona certainly enjoying the relaxation that a 3-goal buffer can bring, and if they give him some time and space, he might well delight us with his artistry. Cho Min-kook trying a long through ball, intercepted by the defense. Now we're seeing some precision passing. Maradona once again held back. The referee allowing the advantage and then changed his mind. Very difficult for a referee to win in situations like that, as Cho Min-kook performed yet another rugby tackle on Maradona. Referee half through playing an advantage rule and then changed his mind, so it's a free kick to Argentina. Several hovering around the ball, one moving out to the right side now. Maradona moving in, decides to bend it, and the goalkeeper punches rather than catching. Seems to prefer punching to catching. Not quite sure why, except of course that ball from Maradona was probably spinning viciously.
They can't afford to keep giving away these free kicks to Maradona. It's proved very costly in the first half, and they could do them in again if they're not careful.
Another chance for reversal. The wall being brought back by the referee. Somewhat reluctant as ever to move back the 10 yards. But now they are back. Goalkeeper nervously checking the wall. An Argentinian in the wall being pushed around. That ricochets off a defender, I think, for a corner. Referees have experienced some problems in these early games with getting that wall back 10 yards, and I think later they may be handing out some yellow cards to decision attack, and Korea trying to move that ball out. Good ball. Now a foot race, and unfortunately not enough strength in numbers, almost a mix-up by the Argentinian defense. And Pompidou having as much action there as he's likely to have for the next few minutes perhaps, but that could have been a costly error. Certainly there we saw an example of the South Korean pace. From Kyun Cha doing a determined and high-speed run down that left side, but coming to no avail when we didn't have enough South Koreans in the area to fasten on the end of that cross. So now Argentina prepared to walk this ball out, and wasting his ball there because Pascule was well offside. Slow-paced game, but Argentina content, of course, to have this game played at a slow pace, particularly since it's very hot. Speculative shots to no avail. Pompidou is not going to have any challenge to his talent in the Argentinian goal with shots of that caliber. The South Korean defenders covering very well and anticipating this time. The referee, Mr. Sanchez of Spain, just having a quick word with the Argentinian defender there. Now a chance. The the left foot shot nowhere close to its target. From Kyung Cha, hitting that one high over the bar. On the few chances that the red-shirted players are going to receive, they cannot afford to be as careless as that.
The Argentine crowd cheering their team right now, and I'm sure very happy with what they see.
But holding his man off, shielding that ball very well and trying to beat him yet again and yet again. And very persistent work indeed by Kyung-Hoon Park. Three times Maradona tried to beat him, once to turn him and twice to beat him, but eventually succeeded in getting a free kick.
I think a dangerous thing for Maradona to do, though. If he doesn't want to get himself injured, I think he should just lay the ball off and enjoy the game and start thinking that he's got more games to play here.
Good shot from the edge of the box. Second chance. But a corner to Argentina. Another opportunity for the Argentinian attack to put the South Korean defense under pressure. Goalkeeper Young Kyo-oh will remember this game, I think, for some considerable time. Maradona going to take the corner. Bend this ball in. Argentinians coming in, 5 of them in the area. Oh, and that was another good contact and just wide of the post. Wisty close with that one. Here we see it again.
He just heads the ball by. The interesting point here to note in all these things is that Maradona is taking all the free kicks, all the corner kicks, and they're using that left foot of his to a total advantage.
Cooley with a lot of room on the edge of the area, taking his man on, beats him beautifully. Oh, too complacent, losing concentration, and even one of the world's best footballers can muff a chance like that. Lots of time, no pressure.
Pascali beats, cuts the ball back, an easy shot from Maradona, and there it goes. I think he'd had the goal in his mind before it was in the net.
Oh, and much better combination, and a good attempt there, blocked by the Argentinian defense. But now, losing 3-0, the South Koreans at last beginning to recognize that they have only the slightest hope by playing as a team. And this they are doing, and Pompidou is being given some work at last.
Argentina is starting to look a little shaky here. They've given away a couple of bad passes, which has gotten Korea right back in with a few good chances.
And as so often happens, of course, when the pace is allowed to slacken, it is very difficult to move into a higher gear. And the Koreans looking more threatening now than they have at any other time in the game, and if they don't get in each other's way... Yes, and a long shot caught. Pompidou absolutely fast asleep, well outside the area. We would expect shots to come from well outside the area in this rarefied atmosphere, and here he was caught asleep.
Some tremendous pressure by the Koreans, and it pays off. What a great shot. And again, long shot. Pompidou, it dipped on him, and I'm sure that's part of this rarefied air. But good pressure by Korea, sustained pressure, rewarded by a goal.
Well outside the box, and number 10, Park, bringing Korea to 3-1. And well deserved, because in that last 5 minutes, having posed an earlier threat from Choi Soon-hoo, they began to play as a team, began to find one another, and in response to that goal, Argentina substitute number 20, Tapia. Carlos Daniel Tapia will come on as substitute for Argentina.
Well, hopefully this will inspire Korea to keep going forward now. They have nothing to lose, and they showed us that they can play. Tremendous shot.
The crowd rising in support of the underdogs, who've shown some spirit now in beginning to combine at long last as a team, and here they go again, threatening forward, nodding back in support, looking to spread this Argentinian defense. And Argentina now being forced to take this game much more seriously. Still a very good blanket and another Argentinian substitution. This is their second and final one. Number 16, Olatico Achia. Julio Jorge Olatico Achia coming on as the second Argentinian substitute.
Well, that goal, Jeff, has definitely picked this game up. The crowds reacted, and they're starting to support Korea, which is great.
So number 2 comes off, Batista, and we now have both Argentinian substitutes on, Carlos Daniel Tapia and Julio Jorge Olaticochea. Now Argentina, a little more urgency. Valdano trying for his fourth, but Youngkyo Oh able to handle that one. Now the pace of the game suddenly increased. The atmosphere becoming quite electrifying. Korea showing some courage in fighting back when they look to be completely out of this game and to be completely dispirited. But they've begun to play as a team, showing a little pace. And Pompidou coming, bravely catching that ball, almost losing it, and getting more work than he ever thought he was going to get in this game. Good shots from well outside the box. Another chance. Build-up was good, and that final through pass didn't quite reach its target. But getting more of play, having more possession now, beginning to swing this ball about with an increased amount of confidence, tackling back. And Argentina very happy to clear that ball and now breaking out themselves.
Build their confidence back up as well, one way or another.
And Pompidou just marshalling his defense, because this is a dangerous position for South Korea to take this free kick. And while they organize this free kick, let's go back to Chris Cuthbert for another update. Now we'll wait and take this kick. Here he comes. But South Korea still on the box and offside, but so close. It was a good save on the second attempt by Pompidou, but the Byung-ju was just offside, only a meter offside.
The good, again, sustained pressure by Korea. There he is, he's offside, but in the same token, a good save by Pompidou.
And tackled unfairly by Gareth, therefore another kick to South Korea. For 19, Byung-ju really started off this revival by South Korea. That's a nice ball, nodded in. Can anybody settle onto that and get a shot in? Oh, good covering by Pompidou, but still Korea attacking and showing now the pace that we'd all been waiting for, and is now coming to life quite late in the half. The linesman made the decision there, rather than moving this forward where they can get a chance for a strike on goal, but quite content to waste time and simply in to pass the ball. But almost a retrieval of that possession by the South Korean team, but Argentina quite content to push this ball in any direction, because they don't need to score goals at this stage with a 2-goal lead. Maradona might try for a quick left footer here, but very closely attended. Doesn't get his cross in, but does gain. The wounded are mobile again. A few seconds left before the final whistle goes. But it's a kick to Argentina. Chance for them to add to their score. But they elect instead to play the ball in a series of short passes. But that's it. The game is over. The first game for Argentina, and a successful start. Argentina 3, South Korea 1.